My name's Roger Gambba-Jones. I'm a District Councillor on South Holland District Council. Currently I'm on the Cabinet as a portfolio holder for waste, recycling, green spaces, carbon management, and I'm chairman of our planning committee. To be honest, I did wonder what on earth Twitter was for. I couldn't understand the purpose of it. 140 characters, what on earth do you do with that? Some of the things that I read on there I didn't get my head round. You know, people reporting the fact that they were in McDonald's and then they were in the high street buying a new DVD and things like that. But if you can get past that, you begin to realise the benefits there are of telling people immediately what you're doing and making sure that it's relevant, that it's something, if you would be interested in it as a third party reading it, it may be of interest to somebody else. And I began from there, from small beginnings, from that point of view. You can also give opinion on it, of course. Whether people are interested in that is another matter. But I found it useful to get that communication link going with local people and those who obviously need to be using media, social media, to start with. The blog was an interesting one. I started in 2008 and very much a personal thing at the time. I'm somewhat opinionated, as people will soon learn, and it started off as an intention of getting down those little rants we all have during the day. We read something in the press and we say, oh, that's ridiculous, and I thought, well, why not write it down? And then I looked into blogging and such like, and I just started putting it online to see who else may have felt the same, or just to share my opinions and things like that. So it was really very much a personal opinion site at the outset. In simple terms, high amount of litter on a bridge, around a bridge, graffiti on that bridge, Network Rail were the ones responsible for it. I understood that there was a way, using something called a litter abatement order, to persuade Network Rail to clean it up. I knew it wouldn't be a simple thing to do, so I decided to report my progress in order to make sure that people were aware that I wasn't just making a lot of hot air about an issue and then hoping nobody noticed that it didn't get fixed, and reporting my progress, and also as a way of somewhat publicising in a small way Network Rail's failure to address a community issue. The local press are obviously very interested because I was reporting fact. It wasn't just my hot air, it wasn't just my opinion and me spouting off. I had said that this was something that was having an impact on our community. It didn't serve as well, and it was a blight, and it spoilt an area and it spoilt our town. So a lot of people felt the same way about that issue. The graffiti was another issue because of some of the language that was used on it, and the bridges used by school children, mothers with small children and all of that. So that struck a chord with many people, and I did my best. The graffiti was an extra. You can't attach that to a litter abatement order, would you believe? But luckily Network Rail came on board completely and addressed the graffiti at the same time as the litter. I think it depends where you live. It depends how much use people make of the internet to start with. We've made an effort over the last 5 to 6 years to get a lot of our communication methods online. Fill in forms to report something rather than having to wait to the next morning to phone up the council, lay out the information. A lot of people are happier to write it down than they are to try and talk somebody through, and it helps them to clarify exactly what their issue is. So we've done a lot in that respect, but there are a lot of people out there. We acknowledge the fact that some 30% of people in the country overall don't have access to the internet, and in a fenland area like ours, a rural area, that percentage is probably somewhat higher. So we have to acknowledge the limitations, but also accept the fact that it is a very, very powerful medium for getting your message across and getting the feedback. That's the important thing to me, the public talking to you and you not just spouting off with that self-important message. Keep it simple, keep it factual. If you're doing something on behalf of the community, say it. Simple as that. Litter pick, starting at the Bull and whatever, the Black Bull pub, whatever location it is in your village, your community, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. I will be out there picking up litter. Would you like to join me? I believe that's about 140 characters. Message gets across. It says, I'm doing something in the community. Would you like to come and join in? Little things like that. And it's the little things that people appreciate, understanding what you're doing. Not the big stuff, not the boring stuff that doesn't mean very much. Community-based activities simply put across. And you'd be surprised just how positive the feedback will come. It takes time. You have to persevere. It won't happen overnight, but you're making a difference.